All right, welcome to the Queensberry Lowdown. I'm Dev Sahni, and joining me today is the youngest fighting Fury. He's only had 3 fights, but he's already an absolute star. It is, of course, Tommy Fury. How are you, Tommy?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. How's life? I mean, I've been looking at your Instagram story. It looks like you are hyped for Halloween.
Yeah, very hyped. I'm currently sitting in front of 4 pumpkins that need carving, so I've got to get around to that. But yeah, Halloween is mine and Mrs.'s favourite time of year, so we go all out. So we're just in the midst of decorating the apartment as of right now.
Bit of trick or treating, or what? I mean, you wouldn't. I'd imagine you can't go out trick or treating, Tommy.
Who says? Who says I can't go out? Of course I'm going out. I've got my costume in the cupboard. I'm putting it on. I'm going as Michael Myers, if everyone wants to know. So let's hope the police don't get called on me. I just want some treats.
Good man. What's Molly going to go as?
I think Molly's going to go as Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, with a pair of, ripped jeans on, like the 1978 film. That's what we're going for.
It's a fair shout. I'm sure the tabloids on November the 1st will be all over that. So I'm looking forward to that. You been at the gym this morning then, yeah?
Yeah, just done a bit of strength conditioning this morning. Been training hard all week, really. So it's just about ticking over now. My weight's down. I'm on point. I'm fit. So it's just about maintaining, to be fair. So yeah, just a light session today. Bit of a walk later on, and then a run Saturday morning.
Is your dad still training you?
Yeah, my dad's still training me. He's trained me now since my run up to my last fight in December. And it just feels right. I've said in many interviews, my dad training me, he's always the one who knows how far to push me and when not to push me. Because the way I can put it is if I was with somebody else, I'd be finishing the week out of training. It's Friday. I'd be doing my strength conditioning this morning. And I'll be going back to the gym later on to do a boxing session at night. But having my dad train me, my dad knows that, I'll just hold him back. He's firing on all cylinders now, so I'm not going to empty his tank. I'm just going to fill it back up. And only my dad would know that, because only my dad knows, how I perform when my tank needs filling up and stuff like that. So, it's good because I know I'm always going to get the best out of my training.
What's that done for your relationship with your dad? Because I'm just thinking now, like, we just had Lomachenko versus Lopez last week, and in the build up to that was one of the themes. Lomachenko was trained by his dad and Lopez was trained by his dad, and Lopez was talking about, I wish my dad would just be my dad sometimes rather than my trainer. What's it done for your relationship with John, him training you?
To be fair, me and my dad's always had a good relationship, because from what I can remember, me and my dad's always been training together. No matter who's trained me at the time, me and my dad have always, been training, all the time from as I can remember, and he's taught me everything. And I wouldn't be here today without my dad. I've put the hard work in, but my dad's also put the hard work and the time into me. It takes a lot of time to go to the gym, every single night, hour after hour, day after day, and I'm grateful for that. And all that's needed now is for me to put the performances on the night, and we can go all the way.
And on that, obviously, now that he's training you, and this is Big John Fury. He's always around the game. He's got a big profile himself. Do you feel like you have to try and impress him?
No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm only gonna do what I can do. I can't do any more than I can. So every time I get in the ring or go to a training session, I give it 110% anyway. And he knows that, and that's why he enjoys training me as well, because I'll never make up an excuse. I'll never say, I don't feel well today, or I'm not on it today. When I step inside that gym, when I leave my front door, I switch on and I give 110% every time. And that's how it's got to be, really. And my dad understands that, and that's why he has so much faith into me, and that's why he puts so much time into me, because he knows that there's only one way at the end of this tunnel, and that's all the way because I put too much time in. I dedicate my full life when I've got a million other things that I could be doing. Mm-hmm. And boxing's not the hardest sport. Boxing's not the easiest sport in the world. Sorry. So, I think proving that to me, dad, and training the way I do and be as dedicated as I am, it really shows him what I've got inside.
You did a little bit with Sugar Hill as well. Sure, I've seen Sugar Hill's over. Obviously, he's with Tyson. What sort of stuff did you pick up from working with like an experienced guy like Sugar Hill?
A lot of things, But I mean, Tyson said it himself. After the Wilder fight, on while in training for the Wilder fight. You know, when you train with Sugar, he literally strips you down to nothing and makes you feel like you've never boxed before in your entire life. That is how I was feeling. I felt demoralised. Like every little thing I was doing from my feet upwards, he was stopping every 5 minutes, correcting, right, this is how you do this is how you do that. And to spend, you know, a good few weeks with him, just going over the same stuff, it's really opened my eyes up, you know, as a new experience in training. You know, Sugar's a very world-class technician, and, you know, Tyson is not going to go wrong with him. You know, nobody can go wrong with Sugar Hill because he's just got all that knowledge. You know, Emmanuel Stewart is his uncle. You know, he was around his uncle when he was young. So the man's got the knowledge there, and he really opened up my eyes. So, yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
Do you think we're going to see a better fighter this time round on November 13th then than what we saw last year?
Yeah, 100%. You know, my aim now, and my only aim now, is to make sure that when I get in that ring, you know, to show everybody that I've got different aspects of my game, because still, I know it's very early days, but I've not shown a glimmer of what I can do. You know, anybody can go in the ring and throw some punches, but, you know, on November 13th, I'm going to show that I've got a lot in my game to go all the way. I'm going to box and move. I'm going to show me power. And I just can't wait to get in there now. It's been a long time coming, you know, all over lockdown. And I'm just ready to get in there now and get rolling.
No, we can't wait to see you. I've been noticing you're going on a lot of early morning runs with Tyson as well. There's a little gang of you. There's Ty Mitchell, Isaac Lowe pops up sometimes as well. I was just curious, on these runs, do you talk to each other, or have you all got your own headphones in and you're in your own zone? How does it work?
No, so when we go on runs, there's no headphones allowed.
Right.
There's no form of extra motivation allowed. It's just we get on the road, we have a little bit of a chat amongst ourselves, and then when it gets into the deep miles, like 5-6 miles, then we just put our head down and get on with it, you know. But it's good when you train around people, because obviously you're not alone doing it. Boxing can be a very lonely sport, you know, getting up in the morning when it's cold and going for a run by yourself. It's very hard sometimes, but when you're around people, you know, you look forward to getting up in the morning, having the crack and, you know, going for a good run, getting it out of the way. So, you know, it's always very good to train with Tyson and the boys.
Obviously, you've gone away and you've done the Love Island stuff. You've become a name in yourself. You told me at the time that part of the reason you did that was to step out of Tyson's shadow and not just be this Tyson's younger brother. Now you are Tommy Fury. Do you feel as though you've fully stepped out of Tyson's shadow now?
To be fair with you, I think in terms of boxing and the boxing world, I'll never really step out of his shadow until, you know, Tyson moves on, he retires, and it's been a few years, because Tyson's that good, and Tyson is, for me, the face of boxing at the moment. You know, when everyone speaks boxing, you speak Tyson, and I feel like while he's still boxing, you know, I'm always going to get them comparisons. I'm always, you know, going to get the Tyson's younger brother, and of course, why not? You know, he's the best heavyweight on the planet. But I think in other terms, you know, I wanted to do Love Island to obviously go and show my personality, you know, how I am as a person, and I feel like that came off and that really showed who I am. But in terms of boxing, yeah, I think when Tyson, you know, retires and moves on, that's when I can really, you know, form my own self.
Hearing some of your interviews recently, I'm still getting that impression that you've got a little bit, and correct me if I'm wrong, a little bit of a chip on your shoulder about wanting to prove yourself. You still want to show everyone you aren't just you don't just rock up for topless photo shoots. It's not just about going out and, you know, being papped up kind of thing. You still want to show people that you're a fighter. Tell me a little bit about that. I'm right, aren't I?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You know, just because I've been on the TV for 2 months and done a little bit of whatnot, don't underestimate me. You know, I'm a guy at the end of the day, and all I do is fight. That's what I've been doing my whole life. You know, I've not just gone on the TV for a couple of months and come out and done whatever. I've been in the gym ever since I got out of Love Island. All the way up until it, I was in the gym. As soon as I got out, I was in the gym. And I want to show everyone that, you know, all this training, it's not for nothing to get in the ring and, you know, make a few headlines, make a more few headlines. You know what I mean? I'm getting in the ring with a vision to be a world champion at the end of it. And I know that's, like I said before my last fight, I know everybody says that, you know, I want to be a world champion, I want to hold the belt, but there's a big difference in saying it and believing it. You know, I've got the full team. I can't name a better team around another fighter in my position. You know, at this moment in time, I've got my dad there, I've got Tyson there, Sugar there, everyone's there for me to do well. I just want to show that I am a gritty fighting man, and I'm not a playboy, and I don't play around with boxing. I go in there and I mean business. And when it comes to fight night, you can forget all the other Love Island stuff, because anybody who fights me and they think, oh, this guy's just this, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, because I don't care in a fight whether it gets rough, tough, or whatever. I've been there. I don't care. I'm a fighting man, and I'll fight to the end. And that's what I am. That's in me blood, and that's what's going to show on fight night.
I think a lot of people don't realise what you went through before that. The fact that you were a kid in the Fury gym, in there with Tyson, in there with I think Tom Aspinall as well. I think you're in there with guys like that, and you were sparring. You were a kid getting knocked about by these grown men.
Well, it's just shown. Tom Aspinall has had 2 or 3 fights in the UFC. Yeah, he's a big guy, 6'6", 18 and a half stone. I was sparring him when I was 14, 15 and 16. And like everyone thinks, oh yeah, he's just going to be tipping around and tapping and learning. There was nothing of the sort. Strict instructions were in there. Try and knock his head clean off. Try and splatter him. Try and knock him out. That's what I've had to cope with coming up. And all these, I didn't have no head guards on, no protective sparring. No, he's too big for you, no whatever. Get in. Because I was a lightweight in the Fury camp, like you said. And there was no getting light heavyweights in or middleweights in for sparring. It was heavyweights only. So I've been bashed around for years, and I know what's inside of me. And going back to my dad as well, that's why everyone's got faith in me, because they know I can ship punishment, I can take a shot, I'm game, I want it, I want to fight. And my dad's got an always saying, if you're a Jackie, you're a Jackie. If you jack in training or anything of the sort, you will do it in the ring. If you say no, I've had enough in sparring, you will say it in the ring. Now, in sparring, training's training, whatever, I treat it as a fight. I'll never jack whether I'm running down the road. If I can't do it, I won't attempt it. And at the end of the day, that's why everyone believes in me so much, because I can sit here proudly and say I have never, ever, ever quit in anything in my entire life, and I will never, ever, ever quit in a fight. I'd sooner be knocked clean out, unconscious in the ring, than rather say I can't get up. I'll be up until you're going to have to knock me spark out, and that's the only way of beating me.
You may as well have just been Tyson then. That was like that. That was just like exactly something that Tyson would say. It's the Fury blood, isn't it?
It's just what's instilled in us. At the end of the day, we're not a type of fella to stay on the ground when we can get up. It's going to take everything that anybody's got to get us on the ground. You've seen the type of shots Tyson went to the ground to. That's what's in all of us, not just the ones who box. Every single Fury on the planet, that's what we've got inside us. And that's what just comes out on fight night. So, I'm not trying to go in there for a fight. I'm going to use me skills, and I'm going to use what I've got to my, best ability. And when we get in there, fight by fight, year by year, you're going to see a new and improved Tommy Fury every time.
Well, obviously, you believe in yourself. Everyone around you believes in you. You have got this growing social media profile. Do you ever look at the comments? Do you ever look at some of the trolls out there? How do you deal with that, if so?
I'm genuinely not interested. I don't care about social media. I don't care about anything like that. There's only one thing that I'm interested in, it's fighting. And if anybody's got an opinion on me, tune in November 13th and you're going to see a brand new fighter in me. I've been working on a hell of a lot of things in the gym. And what I've learned, coming through all this reality and public eye bullshit, it's that you can't do right for doing wrong. If I went out there and did the best thing in the world and did everything right, there would still be opinions about me being a this, that, and whatever. So you can't win. So why am I going to try and impress someone that's always going to have a bad opinion anyway? Like, I'm made to do my thing. I'm going to do the best that I can do in whatever field that may be. And that's it. At the end of the day, I'm a young kid. I'm trying to do the best that I can in life. I'm trying to make myself a few quid. And if I'm wrong for doing that, then I don't know what to do. I'm just trying to be Tommy Fury, and that's all I've been from the start since day one. And they can look at my other interviews to see that.
No, you're absolutely bang on. And I've known you I've known you before Love Island. I've seen the same guy basically, and I know if you get any stick, it is water off a duck's back. You don't care. You're just like that. But I've got to ask you, when it comes to someone that you love, so like Molly, say she gets some stick and maybe she gets a bit upset about it. How do you comfort her? How do you guys sort of deal with that together?
So I'm obviously, a lot thicker in that mindset, like, abuse on the internet and all sort of stuff. It doesn't get to me. It don't bother me. But say if it bothers Molly, I'm just there to try and pass on to her like how I treat it, you know, not to bat an eyelid. Obviously, you know, there's going to be things out there that upset girls. Of course it is, you know, when they get called certain names, of course it's going to upset them, but it's my job to say, you know, don't worry about that. Crack on. It's fine. You know, every 9 times out of 10, a lot of bad comments is because of jealousy. 9 times out of 10, because that person is living their life and they're not happy with their life, so they have to bring other people down. That's what 9 times out of 10 what it is. And you can't, if you let yourself be bothered by that, you know, you're going to struggle in life, because whatever you do and whatever field you do, like I said before, there's going to be haters and there's going to be lovers. And 9 times out of 10, more haters than lovers, because there's a lot of jealous people in the world, and that's just how people are nowadays. So, not just for Molly, it's for everybody. Don't pay attention to what other people are saying. If your family's all right, your friends are all right, and yourself is all right, and you feel mentally good and you're in a good place, get on with life and live life how you want to live. Don't be living life in other people's shadows and thinking about what they're going to say, you know, because you just can't do that. Live your life how you want to live it, and don't worry about any comments.
No, well said, Tommy. I'm sure a lot of people will take to that advice. A lot of people need to hear that sort of advice. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder for a sec. Looks like that fight's off with Tyson now, and Tyson's going to fight someone else in December. What do you think about it all? Did you expect Wilder to take the fight, or what do you think's happened here?
To be fair, I couldn't really say. It's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, obviously he got a very bad beating last time out, and I think that was one of the worst beatings I've ever seen a world champion take. So confidence-wise, his confidence is going to be shattered, like completely shattered. And being a knockout victory as well, I do think the turnaround, you know, was too quick. You need a good few months off to let your body heal. Then you also need to take in what's happened to you, try and get the confidence back. And I just think that's not there. I just don't think Wilder wants it. I think he's a broken man now. And to be honest with you, I think you might be lucky to see Wilder box again. You know, he's mid-30s, 36 or whatever he is, 35. You know, he's been world champion. He's had a lot of defences. So, you know, maybe he's done now, because when you're coming back from a beating like that, you know, it's hard to do. And Wilder was definitely one of those guys, as we all know, with a chip on his shoulder. You know, he thought he was, you know, God's gift. And it turned out that on that night that he was just a schoolboy amateur. That's how it looked. So, you know, is he going to box again? I don't know. Will he box Tyson again? No, I don't think so, because if he boxed Tyson, it'd be the same thing but worse.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say this sort of thing, that maybe we just won't see Wilder again. Wilder he's made his money, he's made millions. And if you're 35 years old, you've got a young family. I think he got into it because he wanted to help his daughter out, because she's not very well. So that's surely mission accomplished. What's left to prove? I guess if you want to get out, you can get out, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I was Wilder, you know, I would, to be fair. You know, he's been world champion. He's had the defences. You know, he's secured his family. He's secured himself. There's nothing for him to really do in boxing now. You know, so I just enjoy life with his young kids, and just get on with life. To be fair, you know, I'm sure he's got a nice house. You know, a nice bit of money in the bank. Go and live life. You know, go away, do what you want to do. Treat your missus, treat your kids, and put your attention to them now, because, you know, I don't know myself, but I can imagine having young kids at home when you're away on training camps a lot. You know, you miss a lot of time. So just put all that time into your kids. You know, he's been a good fighter, but, you know, his day's coming, and that's it, I think.
Who would you like to see Tyson fight in December?
It's a tricky question, to be fair, because there's no one we'd really like to see him fight apart from Joshua. You know, I can say that for everybody. We all want to see that Joshua fight, but obviously that's not going to happen in December. He needs a little run out sort of thing. I mean, anybody who Tyson fights now, Tyson is just one of them exhibits where, no, if he was fighting the local bin man, you know, he'd still sell out the arena, obviously behind closed doors. I mean, it's just a different world now, isn't it? But what I'm trying to get at is whoever Tyson fights, it's going to be a mega attraction. Like, it doesn't really matter who he fights. You know, everyone's going to tune in anyway. Everyone's going to watch it. So he just needs someone who's going to come, you know, keep him good, keep him active, keep him aware. And then we march on next year for the Joshua fight, really.
That's the one, isn't it? It feels like everything's just sort of building up towards that. And look, I'm not even going to ask your prediction, because I know your prediction. Fury will knock out Joshua. Am I wrong, Tommy?
Nope, you're definitely not wrong. Imagine if I said, "Oh, yeah, you're wrong there."
Yeah, AJ sparks him out. Yeah.
Oh, imagine. No, I think definitely for me, I've always said it. That's going to be Tyson's easiest fight. I think it's going to be very similar to. It depends how Tyson wants to box because we all know he can box one of two ways now, or every way. He can box how he did against Wilder, putting the pressure on, going forward, or he can box on the back foot. I've always envisioned that fight. Like Tyson and Derek Chisora too, just getting played with. Tyson's on the outside, literally playing with like a cat on a piece of string. But if Tyson's looking like a wrecking ball now, like under sugar as well. His physique's changed. He's much more powerful. He's much more stronger. So I think if he walked to Joshua, I think he'd have Joshua out of there in a matter of 5 or 6 rounds. And that's not me being biased or anything. That's just my opinion.
You can see he is a different animal now. A couple more fights I just want to get your thoughts on quickly. So November 13th, you're back. Great. Fantastic. We're really looking forward to it. Also on that show, Mark Heffron and Denzel Bentley, they've got their rematch for the British title.
Yeah.
Did you see the first fight? What did you think?
Yeah, I've seen the first fight. Yeah, I think it was a good fight. I think it was a close fight. Definitely worthy of a rematch. But how much better is it that the British title is on the line now?
Great, isn't it? Yeah.
That changes it from just a rematch to a British title fight. Like, whoever wins this is going to be the British champion. That's obviously a very, very big thing. And I think it's going to make for 10 times more of a fight because they're fighting not just to get the win now, they're fighting to be British champion. So I think you're going to see the best out of both men. And good luck to both men. I couldn't really pick a winner last time. Obviously, Bentley had him down in round 2, I think it was. Well, then Heffron come on and started landing a lot of shots, backed him up a lot. So it definitely was an interesting fight, but I can't wait for the rematch.
One in your weight division, actually, I don't think, it hasn't been announced yet, but it looks like it's set to happen, is Anthony Yarde against Lyndon Arthur. What do you think of that fight? How do you see that going?
I think that's definitely, apart from obviously Dubois and Joyce, I think that's the next best fight out there, to be fair. It's a tricky one because Lyndon's obviously got the boxing skill in the back foot. Yarde's been in there with Kovalev, got the experience. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. It's just if, Lyndon can stop Yarde pressing forward with all that, brings the power and all the punches. If Yarde can somehow tone that down a little bit and get behind the jab, then it makes for an interesting fight. But my prediction on that is if it goes long, I'd favour Lyndon really because I know Depp Spielman and Arthur's and Yarde's not the same calibre, but he boxed really well that night, like really well behind the jab. He missing the shots in the rope and everything like that. So I think if he does that, he's got a great chance of winning. But if Yarde comes in and starts landing his shots, that's why it's such a good fight because you can't really pick, can you? They're both young, they're both in the prime. Yeah. So let's get it on, and thankfully they are doing.
It's a cracker. It's a cracker. And obviously you alluded to it yourself as well, Dubois versus Joyce. I don't think I've heard your prediction on that one.
That is a top draw fight. I mean, if it goes long, I favour Joyce. But if it goes, the first 6 rounds, I favour Dubois. Dubois, if he hits you, you're going. Like, it's just as simple as that. You can't really do anything about it. You're just going. I know Joyce can take a good shot, but if you take a full-blooded right or left hook off Dubois, it's on the floor. But I feel Joyce I've seen him in the gym sparring Tyson. He keeps pressing forward, like he does not stop coming. He keeps coming and coming and coming, and he can ship some shots. So if he manages to get out the first 6 rounds, then I think it makes for a very interesting fight.
It's one we are looking forward to. Tommy, finally, November 13th. What can we expect from Tommy Fury?
Same old. A big, dirty knockout. Like I said, for me first couple of fights, I'm saying it now. You're gonna see thrills. It's gonna be a good fight. I can't wait because I just want to, like I say, show everything that I've been working on in the gym. I'm beaming with confidence. I can't wait to get in there, and it's just going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. Can't wait to get back in there finally. So definitely tune in.
We can't wait to see you, Tommy. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.
Perfect. Take it easy, mate. God bless.